All wings report in.
HouseDog, standing by.
Mother Goose, standing by.
Lowtech Tuck, standing by.
Lock S foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Animal Squadron podcast. You're here with your hairiest host, Mother Goose.
And Lowtech Tuck.
Hell yeah. I was really listening this time to make sure.
Yep, I'm here as always.
Today we're talking about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, The Marshal. I'm really excited to be back in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I am too. I love this show. I loved it the first time I watched it. I loved it the third time I watched it. And I think this is fourth or fifth. And lo and behold, I still like it.
Hell yeah. I think this may actually only be my second time watching it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I know it came out around the time that Mac and I started posting more regularly. And so I finished it for the first time, and then I was like, okay, we started talking about The Mandalorian. I'm going to wait until we get around to Season 2 to watch it again. And that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, so much else has come out since then too. I mean,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the only note I have going into this scene is the graffiti was a really nice touch. It made it feel like a very real place.
Yeah, like are you talking about in the the Gamorrean WWE?
Yeah,
scene?
right outside as the Mandalorian's walking up. It's very this episode I've just overall does a really good job of letting itself breathe. So it starts with literally just the Mandalorian and Grogu for like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, just walking through, and it's just like showing obviously the Mandalorian, the location, but the graffiti, I really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and yeah, as far as I guess just like a real place, like it really does kind of look like a place that you could actually find. I like that. I like that too.
It's just a nice little detail that makes it feel actually lived in and not just a set.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we have our Gamorrean WWE fight ring, fight club, death match. Hell yeah. The slower start, every time I see it, I'm like, there's a moment where I'm like, but then I'm like, okay, they're really setting up something, and then they do. Like, getting into this, there's all these people, they're chanting, they're betting. It is such a cool scene.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually this this fight scene right here, which we'll talk about in a second, is one of my favorites in the whole show, actually.
Yeah?
This like choreographed fight scene, yeah, I think it's awesome.
Nice.
And yeah, and it just reminds me of well, it's just kind of, it's hard to put into words. I'll talk about it later, but yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah,
for sure. I really like the weapons the Gamorreans are using.
Yeah, the vibranium axe things.
Yeah, and it's almost like there's a little electricity or a pulse that comes out every time they hit something.
Mm-hmm.
Super unique.
Yeah, well, and isn't I mean, I know vibranium's Marvel, but isn't there something in Star Wars where it's like vibro swords?
So they do
knives,
have vibro blades, which we actually get to see one in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But here, why don't you start talking about the fight? I will look it up. I'm not sure what vibro blades are made of.
Yeah, well, I guess what I was gonna say is I wonder if these axes are like vibro axes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
thinking. That's kind of what they
too.
reminded me of. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be cool if they are. But anyways, so this scene, the Mandalorian and the child are here to meet a guy. His name's like Gar Korga.
That sounds
maybe?
Right. I have
He's
no
a
clue, but I
Cyclops,
trust you.
And,
Yep.
And he seems very mobster-like, which is something I kind of appreciated about this scene as well. He was meeting him for a favor, for some information, which I just thought was cool. And he's betting on the fight, and he keeps asking the Mandalorian, do you want in? Do you want to bet on this fight? And the Mandalorian just won't have any of it. He's like, I avoid betting anytime I can. No, I'm sure of what I came for and prepared to pay you for the information, so I don't want to bet for it. And the guy says, well, I'm also sure, and he shoots the Gamorrean that's about to win so that he wins his bet. Yep. And then he and all his cronies turn around and they point their guns at the Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just proceeds to beat them all up. Let's see, I forget the first thing that happens, but he starts punching, and I love too how he starts using his helmet as both a defensive and offensive weapon.
Yeah.
Whenever they try to hit, he'll just move his head in the way so they hit the helmet, and then he'll just headbutt them and stuff like that, which is awesome.
I was watching, there was one specific guy, same guy, who hit the Mandalorian 3 times in the helmet and went for another 2 strikes and missed those 2. But
yeah.
And the first time he hit him, you saw him shaking his hand as if it hurt, and then he just kept going for more.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's right. Backing up here, where this fight starts is he uses the birds. Are they songbirds? Yes. The little missiles? What are they called?
Whistling birds? Something. I'll look that up too.
Flappy Bird. Angry Birds. Anyway,
whistling birds.
Whistling birds. He uses those first because they surround him. So that's and also right before Grogu closes up his little shell.
It's very cute.
And so he uses the missiles and he kicks Grogu out of the way, and then he's fist fighting these dudes.
Yeah.
That just keep trying to punch him in the helmet, which again I love. And then he pulls his vibroblade out, and what does he? Stab the one guy, and then he turns around and throws at the other guy.
Yeah,
And so at this point, all the cronies are dead, and then the Cyclops guy is trying to run away. And then what I love is that this is when the Mandalorian just all of a sudden turns into Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And he chases this guy down, and he lassos him around the legs, and then he hangs him up on a lamppost. And the guy's like, before I tell you anything, you've got to promise me that I won't die. And he says, I promise you won't die by my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a promise he's going to keep. And I love that. And then as soon as he says that, the Cyclops guy tells him where to find the other Mandalorian that he spoke about, because he's trying to get Grogu to the Jedi. And it's on Tatooine. And it's in a city called Mos Pelgo. Pelgo, yeah. Which is also a city that the Mandalorian's never heard of. But anyway, he's convinced that this guy's telling the truth, and then he shoots out the light, and then we see all these wolves approaching, and the guy's screaming that the Mandalorian can't let him die, and then he gave him his word, and then he just continues walking because
it doesn't even say anything.
And he's right. Yeah.
My initial thought when he said you won't die by my hand, this is a little morbid, but I was like, he's gonna kick him to death.
He's gonna kick him. All I see in my mind is that scene from Monty Python whenever King Arthur chops off the Black Knight's arms.
'Tis but a scratch.
And he's like, what are you gonna do now? Kick me?
Okay, so I looked it up. So vibro weapons can be pretty much any type of blade. All you need is a vibro generator.
Well, that explained the electricity on the axes.
Yeah. Yes, the heavy strikes.
Yeah.
And then Cyclops boy, his species are called Abyssins.
Abyssins.
Yeah, and their homeworld is Biss.
Oh,
I'm sure
interesting.
this is knowledge we will never use again, but it is knowledge we have.
Yeah, Biss sounds like it's like way out there in the Outer Rim or something.
Yeah, and this is a Disney canon only creature. They were never in Legends, which I think is cool.
Huh. Yeah, so they're like a new one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
I love Legends creatures as well. I just think it's also cool to see new stuff that we haven't gotten to see before.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Bring it all together.
Well, do you have anything else here before we go to Tatooine?
No, not really. I mean, he got his information and he kicked butt, and that's what I wanted. So,
I mean, that me too, right?
that's what I come to this show for.
We are simple men with simple pleasures.
Yep.
Okay, so we go to I almost said Mandalore. We go to Tatooine, which again, I really feel it. We don't have to talk about it long, but I really think Tatooine's a nexus in the Force. It's gotta be.
Oh, with how much happens there?
Yeah.
I think I'm with you. And also how Anakin was created there.
Mm-hmm.
And also why Plagueis and Sidious targeted that planet.
Yeah.
As far as creating something, like, yeah, there's got to be more to that story. And just all the pain of, like, a forest planet turned to desert planet with, like, the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas and like the Crate Dragon, which we'll see later. Like, there's something magical going on. It's unnatural, but it's cool.
Yeah. Which I'll just mention this here so I don't have to bring this up multiple times. The cinematography, they absolutely crushed it, just showing off the landscape of Tatooine.
Yeah.
And just like all the shots of like the different people that we're following as they're moving through the sand. And they really like, the variety was really nice. Like there was some like mountainy areas. There was some like dunes. There was just like a sandy area with like dead plants sticking up. I don't know. It really made Tatooine feel obviously like Tatooine, but also like there's still different biomes within the desert.
Yeah, it got more depth, I'd say.
Yeah.
Than just, the same set in Tunisia or wherever they shot the first movies.
Yeah.
I think it is Tunisia, if I remember right.
Do you remember this lady's name? Because I do not.
Oh, dadgummit. Pell.
Oh, yes, Pell something.
Oh, darn it. Starts with a P. Help us, Elijah. Oh, great Googler.
I'm typing.
Oh, great
Pelimoto.
Binger. Pelimoto. That's right.
Oh, Pelimoto.
We were close.
She's so cool. I don't know. Every time she's in an episode, I have to ask what her name is.
And also, we see her so often.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's kind of embarrassing, but oh well. We love you, Pelly.
We love you, Pelly, and we're sorry we forget your name.
That's right.
I really like the fact that she's respectful of Din and his dislike of the droids. She's just like, hey, he doesn't like you. Get away.
Yep.
But I also love that she teases him when he's like, no, my ship could probably use the once over.
Yep. Yeah, I like a smart-mouthed, blue-collar lady, no matter what show it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a similar character would be like in Cheers. Have you seen Cheers?
I have not.
Oh, never mind. But if people who've seen Cheers, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't remember her name, but she's very much like Pelly, where she's just always just talking smack and also always ready to throw down.
Yeah.
And we love her for it.
If Pelly dies, we riot.
That's right.
I don't think there's a lot to the scene. We see R5 again, which is really nice, and we see a map of Tatooine where we get to see our Mos Eisley's, Mos Espas, I swear I'm pronouncing that wrong. Help me out here, Tucker.
What, Mos Eisley?
Mos
Espa.
Mos Espa. Okay, cool.
And then we're looking for
Mos
Pelgo.
Yeah.
And that's a new city that we haven't seen before. And
right.
also, quick detail, Pelly's under the impression that Mos Pelgo no longer exists.
Right. What did she say? It was bandits, right, that got it?
Yeah, it was destroyed, yeah.
Which I'm really curious if that was something that, the people they kicked out of the town came up with, or the people within the town came up with to protect themselves. Like, who spread the rumor?
Yeah, I don't know, because the Marshal later says that he did it. Like, he saved them.
Right, he saved the town.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious who, like, was it the Marshal who then came up with the rumor? Like, who's gonna check if some little backwater town, like, a message comes in and says, oh, Mos Pelgos got destroyed by bandits? Probably just be like, oh, that sucks. But also there's like 20 people there. Well,
yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe to protect them from further attacks, but also with the crate dragon being such a problem, you wouldn't think that they'd want to keep it a secret. But
right. But it also could have been the people they kicked out of the town. I can't remember. I literally just finished watching this episode like 10 minutes before we started recording. Whoever they kicked out, they also could have created the rumor as like a, like if maybe there's some trade going on between multiple towns, and they went and said, hey, don't send your stuff to Mos Pelgo. They got destroyed.
Yeah. Like maybe someone's screwing them over.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Well, I don't think I have anything until till we're in Mos Pelgo.
Yeah, I don't really either.
Great. Nothing too crazy happens. Din walks into the bar, and I really love that he just essentially, the person doesn't know who he's talking about. So he's just like, yeah, somebody that looks like me, in reference to the armor. I thought that was a really nice way to handle that.
Yeah.
And then we get the Marshal, and I wanted to ask, this was the first time seeing Boba Fett's armor. What were your thoughts? Obviously this watch through, but can you remember what you were thinking your first watch through too?
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Originally, because I know that it had been rumored that they were going to bring him back, Boba Fett. But at this point, he was still dead, canonically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, at this point, I think they'd
cast him, I think.
Right. They were ready to bring him
it.
back. But, like, as far as we fans knew, yeah, he was gone.
Yeah, so I didn't know if he was, if he got that armor out of the Sarlacc pit, like raided, for all intents and purposes, Boba's grave, or,
right.
I didn't know where he would have gotten it, but I was excited. I was very pumped, because I think also, to me, it meant that he lived. Yeah. Or at least lived after the Sarlacc pit, and we were going to find out what happened, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool.
There was a small part of me that was like, is this Boba? Is it not? But just something about the way he, like, moved and talked, it definitely didn't feel like Boba.
Yeah, and the armor doesn't fit him.
Yeah.
Very good. Like, if you go back and check.
It's a little big. It kind of hangs loose. It's a nice detail.
Yeah. Which
we don't have to wait long. He sits down and he takes his helmet off immediately.
Yep.
And it's definitely not, I mean, I don't think we knew it would be Tamora Morrison, but after Jango Fett, I don't think anyone was surprised that this wasn't Boba Fett, an old white guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was kind of the point too. And with him just taking his helmet off immediately, I mean, I know that Din is a member of a cult, but even Boba wouldn't just remove his helmet, especially if there might be a fight, like, I don't know this guy, and all that stuff. So that kind of told me too that he's not a Mandalorian.
That's, you know what? That's a really good point to bring up, though, because Din doesn't know that there are Mandalorians out there, like Bo-Katan, that takes their helmets off.
Yeah, he has no idea at this point.
So, while we're talking about Cobb Vanth, have you heard the theory that he's actually Anakin's twin brother?
What? Where did that wild one come from?
I have no clue, and I'm sorry I bring up all these wild theories on this podcast, and I don't know who to credit. I apologize. But yeah, there's a theory going around that Shmi, when she gave birth, had twins, and that she could only keep one. And so she kept Anakin and gave away Cobb.
That is wild.
Yeah, that's about as much as I know from the theory. I think the main thing is he should be the same age as Anakin. That might be where people got the theory. Oh, and twins are hereditary, so if Anakin had twins, there was already twins in his gene pool.
Yeah, but also he's a child of the Force.
Right, exactly.
So I don't really. I mean, I think it's kind of like a "Did Adam have a belly button?" kind of question. Like it's, I don't know.
Right. I personally don't believe the theory, but I do think it's an interesting one.
Yeah, I do too. And honestly, part of me kind of hopes it was real because I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But also, in all honesty, like. A good question is, why isn't Cobb Force sensitive?
Right.
Instance?
Anakin stole all of it.
Yeah, and also, like, he's not that he's not a good fighter, but even Din has faster reflexes than him.
Yeah.
And that just, I just don't know if I can believe it. That you'd be the twin brother of possibly the greatest warrior in ever to live in the Star Wars galaxy, and you don't inherit any of that at all. No, I don't know if I can believe that.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe it either, but I'd definitely be willing to be proven wrong at some point.
Oh yeah, and like I said, it's very interesting. So if anyone wants to expound on that, our email is animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that is animalsquadron@gmail.com.
Hell yeah, Tucker. So
and Elijah's personal email is
something else I really liked about the scene, though, specifically with Cobb, is just how he's just so calm. Like, he knows, he's like, oh yeah, he tells the Mandalorian, like, I figured only one of us was gonna walk out, and then I saw the kid, maybe I pegged you wrong. You know, and then the Mandalorian immediately goes to violence.
Yeah, he's like, okay, one of us can.
Give me that armor.
Or I'll take it.
Yeah. Did you have anything else here?
No, other than all of a sudden the room starts a-shaking.
We get our Tremors reference.
That shaking? Yep.
I think this is the first time we've ever seen an alive crate dragon, right?
Yes. The only reference to it is, I think there's a skeleton in A New Hope. And then also in A New Hope, I do know this for sure, to get the Tusken Raiders away from Luke, R2, and C-3PO, that's what Ben Kenobi is mimicking.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's
like
really
that
cool.
Wild noise he's making. That's the crate dragon.
Nice. Okay, so I looked it up. It appears that there was one when C-3PO was walking by himself, you know, and him and R2 were separated for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. In A New Hope?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So really cool to get to see an actual crate dragon.
Yeah. I mean, we've heard about them, but we never got to see one until now. And also, that's just another reason to love this show is there's that and the Mythosaur and
right.
I guess those are the two like giant creatures that we never got to see until now that I can think of. But that's dope. Like, I mean, that's just awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope we get more giant creatures throughout the series.
Also, I don't know about you, but I think I can speak for pretty much anyone in that I would also love a Godzilla-style fight between a Krayt Dragon and a Mythosaur. That'd be so... Dude, and also you could just do it for like 2 hours. I would watch the whole thing. I wouldn't even get bored. And then also throw in another crazy... Oh, throw in like a Zillo Beast or something too. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then just for giggles here, maybe throw in like a Rancor and a... What's the Yeti thing?
Wampa?
Oh yeah, Wampa, yeah. And just have them duke it out, do like a
like a mini fight.
Yeah. Yeah, like do like a lightweight championship, and then you have your heavyweight championship. I'd love it.
Yeah, even just as like I would watch a full movie, but like I think that would be great for like a Tales of the Jedi episode or a Visions episode.
Yeah, just have like all these Star Wars monsters just duking it out.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
You could even do it as like Palpatine. Just like that's what he does for fun. He just watches giant monsters fight each other, and that's why he wanted the Zillo Beast.
Oh yeah, that'd be like he has like a an Empire Coliseum.
Yeah. In Disney.
And also too, like that's where he sends his political enemies.
Right. Food and entertainment.
Yeah, into his monster coliseum.
Yeah. Disney, we're not even charging you for this.
Actually, you know what too? That could be the next Halloween special.
I would be down.
Monsters, Star Wars, take my money.
Easy money, honestly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know anyone alive who wouldn't want to watch that.
Yeah. Same.
And if you don't want to watch it, you're wrong. I don't say it often, but you're wrong.
Yeah, your Star Wars is your Star Wars until you disagree with us.
Especially about monster fights.
Okay. I think the last note I have here is just not the bantha. Poor thing gets snatched.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, whenever it's rolling through town. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only the first one we see get murdered.
Yeah, this one I feel medium bad about for, like, yeah, it sucks, it died, it was cute, but, Krayt Dragon's gotta eat. The next one.
Suicide Bantha?
that one I feel bad for.
You guys did him dirty.
Okay. Next thing I have is Cobb Vanth's pod racer bike.
That's pretty sick.
This is one of the coolest speeders in the entire, franchise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, great. I don't have anything till he meets up with the Tusken Raiders. Do you got anything?
Nope. I will say, with the Tusken Raider thing, I mean, is that well, I guess it's not. Never mind, we find out later it's not, but I wonder where Din learned how to talk to them and learned about their culture and stuff.
Yeah, same. He mentioned it's Peli, right?
Yep, Pelimoto.
He mentioned either to Peli or to the Abyssin that he'd been to Tatooine a lot.
Yeah, it's true. It was the Abyssin.
Yeah. So I think probably just it's got to be one of his adventures.
Yeah, well, and I guess too, I mean, you probably just have to. If you're going to be out there in the desert trying to get bounties and stuff, it's kind of either you have to fight them all or you have to learn how to make peace with them. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. When, we know Din is a smart man.
It reminds me of that old Western trope, where the cowboy spends enough time out in the wilderness and the prairie, and that's the Native Americans' land, and he over time starts to trade with them and become friends with them in order to be able to safely pass through their land to get what he needs accomplished.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the Hutts, which aren't really a big deal right now, the Raiders, the locals, and maybe the Pike Syndicate. You know, and I feel like Din probably has good relations with most of them.
Yeah. Yeah, but also on Tatooine, I mean, I think it's kind of, at this point, it's like, you got the Tuskens, or you got, I mean, who else is, like, really dangerous out there?
Right. And
I mean, I think probably the Tuskens more than anything.
And it's even more than just, like, having, like, not having to fight them. It's also, like, they make such great allies in terms of, like, traversing Tatooine as well. And surviving just in general.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's really cool that he knows, let's see, he knows how to sign. I think he can speak their language. He knows what to say to, like, the dogs. Handled the situation much better than Anakin did.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and to top it off, too, he speaks Jawa also, which is...
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, I mean, so he's perfect for Tatooine, man. He's ready to go.
Right? I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up there. Found a nice little hole to live in.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the Skywalker homestead. No, well, not the I guess it's, Beru and Owen.
Their
whatever
ranch.
their last name. What? Yeah, they're like their ranch house thing. Like,
yeah.
That'd be pretty sick to live under the ground like that. I think that'd be awesome.
Now I just want a scene of Rey burying the lightsabers and old man Din Djarin hobbles out in his unkept Mandalorian armor singing, "Get off my lawn," and he turns his flamethrower on.
Get off my lawn. When will you crazy kids ever learn? Just leave me alone.
Stop burying lightsabers in my sand.
He pulls out another one.
Okay, so next we have them actually, like, they're in the camp and they're kind of planning what to do with the Krayt Dragon. And we see, I really like the tension they built here because, like, the Tusken Raiders are talking about how Cobb Vanth and his men have killed them, which makes Cobb Vanth mad, talking about how they attacked first, and it kind of escalates into an argument. He refuses to drink whatever's in that fruit. I think this is a really good way to handle the tension between these two groups. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, let's work together, shaking hands, hugging right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and it's, and to me that's another thing that just felt really, really Western. I just liked it. I like this whole episode. You got the Marshal, and you got, this big thing that everyone has to unite against to make the town safe, and just a good episode.
A really good episode.
Yep.
Let's see. Then we have them. I also really like Cobb Vanth and Din's argument about the Krayt Dragon being to scale with the little miniature that they made.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Such a petty thing to argue about, but I definitely feel like it felt very real. I feel like that's something two people would actually argue about.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I think we would.
Yeah.
Even.
So.
Yeah, like we've both played D&D. That's half of what you talk about in that game.
And I think it's
like
probably...
how exactly big is this thing?
Yeah. How to scale is it? And I feel like Mac would be the one sitting there. Like, you and I are discussing, like, should it be to scale? Is it bigger? Is it smaller? And Mac would just be sitting there like, it doesn't matter.
Gosh, shut up. Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't... do you have anything here before he makes it back to the actual Krayt Dragon cave?
No.
They eat Sarlaccs, apparently.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. They do?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Because somebody mentions that it lives in a Sarlacc pit, and Cobb Vanth is like, how'd it get in there? Like, it shouldn't be living there. And I think Din says, unless it ate the
Sarlacc. Oh. Well, that's horrifying.
Right?
Yeah. But also, too, I mean, I guess it'd be a good predator, for one. I mean, it can, run through the sand and that kind of thing. Like, could probably just, like, shark attack the Sarlacc before it even sees it coming. Yeah.
Sarlaccs are just antlions for banthas, aren't they?
Antlions?
They create little pits like the Sarlacc pit, and ants then will like fall in, and then the antlion eats them.
Yeah, I'd say pretty much. And then the crate dragon's pretty much a shark that eats those things. A
pretty
sand
much,
shark.
Yeah. Also, minor note I missed while they were at the camp. So Din uses his flamethrower to get them to stop arguing. And it cuts to Grogu, and he's, like, squinting his eyes because it's bright. It's just really cute. Nothing important. I just thought it was cute.
We love that sweet boy.
Oh, and then the poor Tusken got eaten instead of the bantha.
Yep. Yeah, and also, though, I mean, with what's been happening to the banthas, though, I mean, I'm glad this one lives.
Me too.
Or he lives long enough for the next time we see him. I don't know. Maybe it's the same one.
maybe he's the suicide
Maybe he's just really
bomber.
Maybe he's just really unlucky. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Cut on this topic. The fact that the Tuskens have just been sacrificing banthas to this thing.
Yep. The whole time.
Almost like it was a god.
But also, too, one thing I find interesting is that it seems like it's mostly left them alone.
Yeah.
Like, it's like honored their sacrifices.
Right?
Which is kind of crazy.
Maybe it's smarter than we give it credit for.
Yeah, maybe. Or it's been slightly domesticated. I don't know.
It's their dog.
It's just a big dog.
Okay. I don't think I have anything till they meet with the townspeople. Do you have anything?
Nope.
I really like how they handle this scene too, where it's like, okay, we've got to go do this thing. We got to kill the crate dragon. We have a Mandalorian on our side. It's going to be great. Also, the Tuskens are going to help us.
Yeah. And then everyone's like, what?
Yep. And we see the little bit of the good old Star Wars racism, which Din immediately shuts down. What do you remember what he says? Something along the lines of, if we don't kill it, it's going to kill you instead. Something like that. Or is it Cobb Vanth? Because I know Cobb at some point says, what if it stops attacking our bantha and starts attacking us or the school? But I thought that happened before he mentioned the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, no, I think the Mandalorian, he says something like, basically that it'll kill both of them.
Yeah.
If they don't come together. Like, it'll kill it won't just kill the Tuskens, it'll kill you too, is kind of his point. And yeah, he's bringing the band together, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Same.
Yep. Also, I will just say the Mandalorian in general, I love how much it's humanized the Tuskens.
Yeah, same.
Because like you just think of them as just like, I mean, as Anakin says, they were animals and I slaughtered them like animals.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that's kind of how you see them. But then you start to realize that like they're thinking things. They have a culture. They have families and like stuff like that. That they may have a crate dragon god. I don't know.
Or dog.
like it's just interesting. I really like it. They have a language.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that I think is. I like this show for that.
Same. I'm very curious. I was thinking about it. It feels very like RPG-esque, where you as the main character go like help a bunch of people, and then like at the very end of the game, they all come to help you. I'm wondering if that might be the case.
Yeah, I mean that does that is kind of how the episode goes.
Like, I could see that, or I mean, like, series long as a whole. Like, maybe
you think the Tuscans will come help him at some point?
Maybe, like, the Tuscans, maybe some of the villages that he's helped, obviously the Mandalorians, Cobb Vanth, Boba Fett. Like, this might be, like, he might, not that this is going to happen, but potentially he could build an army to fight Thrawn just on, like, deeds he's done helping people out.
That would be pretty sick. Also, too, if it turns out that the Tuscans do have a Krayt Dragon god, and that it comes to fight, and then we get our Godzilla fight.
Yes.
With this space Krayt Dragon and a bunch of Purgles just taking down a Star Destroyer.
Okay, how sick would it be to, like, you've got a space fight going on. I'm sorry, audience, we're so off topic, but, you know, one of Din's ships flies over a Star Destroyer, and, like, the hangars open, and a Krayt Dragon just falls out onto the Star Destroyer.
That would be awesome. I would just watch that and rewind it and watch it and rewind it many times. Yeah.
Again, like we said, we are simple men with simple pleasures.
We really are. I like it when stuff breaks, and I like violence.
Yes, exactly. Okay, back to the episode. Next thing I have is just a music note. As they're entering, the Tusken Raiders are entering Mos Pelgo. I loved the music here. Really good track.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask you, how did these, like, 20 people from a middle of nowhere town get so many explosives?
Oh, clearly you don't know that many rednecks.
That is true.
Yep.
My only thing is maybe because they're miners? Like, maybe they use the explosives to, you know, open caves, or maybe they just blow caves up and then go dig through the rubble.
See, I think it's more of the Mandalorian just found Tatooine's trailer park.
Yeah.
Where these guys have so much illegal crap in their garages that no one even knows about.
The Empire doesn't want you to know this one simple trick.
Yeah. Oh. It's like, you need proton explosives? Okay. Which ones? You want the 12 kiloton or the 6 kiloton?
Yep. But they got him, and I really, again, just another scene showing the tension. Cobb Vanth has to step in when one of the Tuskens drops one of the explosives, and instead of just being like, hey, it's okay, we're okay, some random guy started yelling at the person still holding the explosive they just dropped.
Yeah, and also, you know, I mean, I'm no bomb squad guy, but that doesn't seem like a smart thing to do when someone has a bomb, is run at them and scare them.
Right. But I really liked Cobb Vanth, that he was the one that stepped in instead of the Mandalorian. I think it shows some character development. I also think it shows that, like, he's the person that needs to step in. Like, sure, the Mandalorians come to help, but when Din is gone, it's going to be up to Cobb Vanth to keep the peace.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything till the fight.
Are we ready to talk about Suicide Bantha?
I'm ready to talk about Suicide Bantha.
That poor guy.
I'm just surprised this wasn't the plan from the beginning.
Yeah, just send him in there and just blow him up.
Yeah, like, when I saw the Bantha covered in bombs, I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna feed it to him. And then they started, like, digging holes and burying bombs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think with the Tuskens, though, I think the Banthas are pretty valuable.
That is true, yeah. It's not like they have a ton of them.
So maybe, like, it'd be more valuable to try to use it as bait instead of kill it, but...
Yeah.
But they decide to kill it. Poor Bantha.
Poor little Bantha. I also really like the, like, the medieval, like, siege harpoon that the Tuskens have.
Yeah, I do too. And then also I love whenever they shoot the the crate dragon, how like they think that like 12 of them can hold the rope.
Right.
That cracks me up.
Same. Well, so they finally get him out. They blow him up, and the sand bombs don't work.
Yep, they just make it mad.
And seconds later, it appears at the top of the mountain and starts spewing acid at them, which that thing is fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fast. And also, I mean, you know, what a fine time to figure out its hidden talent.
Right.
Is when you make it mad. You're like, oh, wait, that's why it's a dragon. It's spewing acid. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. A really cool detail, and would also be really cool for the monster fight. But I was not expecting it.
Yeah, I wasn't either. But also, yes, for the monster fight, it'd be perfect.
And then everything goes wrong. Lots of people are dying. Din makes the noble sacrifice. He grabs the suicide bantha and holds it still as the great dragon comes.
Yep.
I really thought he was going to fly away. And then to just see him get snatched like that, I was shocked.
Yeah, but as soon as it happened, I really thought it was going to be, like Disney's animated Hercules.
Oh, where he, like, cuts him open?
Yeah, I thought something like that was going to happen.
Interesting.
And it does, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
Just no sword.
Just a lot of shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think he knew this would work? Like, do you think he knew he'd get out, or it really was a noble sacrifice? I'm going in, I'm dying, and I'm saving these people.
And it was just an opportunity?
Yeah.
Well, I think at this point in Din's character, the only person he would sacrifice like that for, and this is Grogu. I think that'd be the only one. But also at this point, I don't know if he loves Grogu enough to even do that for him.
Right.
And so in his character development, I think that this is calculated.
Yeah.
I think he's only doing it because he knows he's going to win.
That's fair. I do, on your point though, I do really like that maybe the thought that maybe he did it to save Grogu, not necessarily all the other people there, because he hits Cobb Vanth's jetpack and says, "Take care of the kid."
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the one thing he cares about. And also, I mean, like, I don't even think he cares about himself that much.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I think he just cares about Grogu, and that's about it.
Yeah. But, again, with what you were saying, at this point, is it because he loves the kid, or is it because that's the mission that he's on, and, you know, as an honorable Mandalorian, it's his duty to finish that mission?
Yeah, I think it's more the second one. I don't know if we could say that he loves Grogu yet.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of where season 2 is, though, is like, just over the course of the season, I think we'll start to see more of that he actually loves Grogu. And it's not just about the mission.
I agree. Well, so he does escape, gives him a little shock, flies out, blows up the Great Dragon, and I think one of the coolest scenes in cinematic history.
Yeah. And then also we get the very rare Star Wars gore.
Yes! I didn't even think about that. You're right.
Yep. We get monster blood everywhere. And then also the Tuskens start like gathering it up to eat it.
And they're digging through it. And, like, their hands are covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the pearl that they find too, which now I'm considering the pearl. Do we ever get an answer on what the pearl is?
No, it's just that the Tuskens, that's what they're looking for. Like, it becomes clear that that's what they wanted. That was like their whole objective was to get that.
Right. Because I know there's something, like, doesn't he help? He helps the Jawas in season 1 kill something. Get an egg. Yeah, they get an egg and they start eating it at the end. That's okay. That's where I was confused. I got those two scenes kind of mixed up in my brain.
Yeah, but the Tuskens, you know, especially with getting to know them better through these new Star Wars shows, is I think they're smarter than that.
Yeah. I
mean, I almost think that the pearl is either to trade to some someone or something else for some, maybe like upgraded rifles or food or I don't know. Or, and I'm just now thinking about this because you brought up possibly that the crate dragon was a religious thing. What if the pearl's a religious thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe that's like their big...
It's their cross.
It's like their Valhalla moment. Like they killed the crate dragon and they got the pearl, so now they're going to get to go to...
Oh, yeah. Whatever their afterlife is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also thinking potentially it could be maybe an egg itself.
That's true. And then they're going to tame the crate dragon and they're going to use it to destroy Thawne.
Exactly. It's all part of the plan.
In our epic Godzilla space battle.
Yes, for sure. Well, I've just got one more note, like at the literally very end of the episode. Do you have anything else?
No.
Boba's alive, baby!
Well, it's not clear it's Boba yet.
That is true. It could just be Tamara Morrison playing someone else.
Do we actually see his face? I thought we just saw the back of his head. In this one.
he turns around and like looks at the camera all dramatic.
Oh. Well, still, do you know?
You know what? You're right, because it could be literally almost any of the clones.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's Rex. He just shaved all his gray hair off.
Shame, shame. You're reading ahead.
Oh, no. Sorry, audience. I spoiled for you.
Spoiled something from 3 years ago.
But I was really hyped to see Tamara Morrison, because I think it was a little disappointing seeing like the Boba Fett armor and it not being him, but we did not have to wait long for the reveal that he's back, and I thought that was nice.
Yeah, and it was especially cool at the time, because I think that was really when it was like really, really clear that they were for sure bringing him back. Yeah, and that was very exciting to me,
for sure. And the more I think about it, the more I really do like Boba's character arc as a whole. We'll dive into Boba Fett when we get there. I'm not sure. We may finish The Mandalorian, season 3, or because Boba Fett is Mandalorian, 2.5 pretty much. We may do that next. I don't know, but definitely excited to start talking about that one.
Yeah, well, we'll find out in like 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Well, I think that's everything I have. Do you have anything else?
No, that's all I got too.
Great. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it. If you want to be a part of this conversation, you can reach us at animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that is animalsquadron@gmail.com. Our question of the week for Spotify listeners will be what your thoughts on the Mandalorian Chapter 9 is. And if you could leave us a review wherever you're listening, that would be great. We really appreciate it. For the Animal Squadron, this has been Mother Goose.
And Lowtech.
Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.